Hello everyone and welcome to Siriana Tarot. This is a singles new love reading for Capricorn. We're going to look at the kind of love you're ready to experience now based on the growth you've already done. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Clear messages, advice, and guidance for my Capricorns, please. All right, so we have the Lovers card, Gemini energy. Your person is also showing up as the Ace of Swords. They're viewing you as the Eight of Swords. And the connection, we see Fool, Aries energy. So fun and exciting. It feels completely brand new. And we see the Justice card. So we have Justice and the Lovers card, which for me as a reader is an indication that this is a really strong divine counterpart, possibly twin flame, soulmate connection, but it's a really powerful connection. Now this is someone who's very well put together, Capricorn. This is someone who takes pride in their appearance. They pay attention to the details. They probably smell really good. They always look really put together, like they're going somewhere, even when they dress down. This is somebody who I feel is balanced, which is also really beautiful energy. Somebody who's not highly reactive, someone that people probably come to for advice. They help guide people through difficult circumstances. Somebody who may bring balance to your life. The Lovers card also, to me, this Gemini energy tells me this person is social. It tells me that this person is going to compliment you in the most beautiful ways. And I also think it's going to be a very sexy and passionate connection. All right, so we have the Five of Cups in reverse. This person is somebody who I do feel is very, I don't want to say very picky, but really discerning about whom they allow into their life. The Five of Cups in reverse tells me that they don't make themselves emotionally available to just anyone. And this is someone who has been healing from something, and that's most likely why they're very discerning. They don't want to repeat any past patterns or mistakes. And yeah, this is somebody who definitely has been doing a hard review of the past, and they've made a decision to let the past go, but they want things to be done differently now. So I do feel a sense of resilience and maturity with their energy. The High Priestess in reverse, Capricorns, I feel like you're gonna really let down your walls and barriers with this person. This came through, I think it was in the Taurus reading, where it was like, when you know, you know. And I'm getting the High Priestess in reverse as like, you're going to be really open and really honest with this person. You're not going to, this person's going to be very disarming for you in a lot of ways. Like you're going to find yourself telling them things that maybe you've never told anybody else. Or, on your first date, you tell each other your life stories. And it feels really beautiful. It feels like you're not going to have any huge question marks about this person, like when you know type energy. This person is passionate, so there's never a dull moment with this type of person who enjoys life fully. They could be an exciting lover. We get life partner. I'm not surprised with the Lovers and the Justice card. I mean, this is someone who's looking for partnership, looking for marriage, a mutual love with a partner who shares your vision for the future. It's meant to be a long-term connection. And we see that there's an intensity to this person, but I don't think it's like something that you see initially, because like I said, I do think they not necessarily hold back, but they conduct themselves elegantly. So it's like you're not going to really notice this intensity until you get to know them a little bit better. But the depth of this person's thoughts and emotions indicate a high intellect and a strong focus on their subject. So whatever it is they decide to do, or whomever they're with, they're extremely focused. And they could be an entrepreneur. And again, that's energy that an entrepreneur really needs. Someone who puts their ideas to work for them. They work hard. They're investing in their future. With the Ace of Swords, I feel like this is somebody who's really intelligent. I feel like they could be well-read, well-educated. That could be higher levels of education. It can also just be somebody who, is self-taught, self-made, somebody who's honest and authentic. And I see both of you bringing authenticity and honesty to the connection, which feels extremely refreshing. All right, so what else do my Capricorns need to know? All right, you may meet this person at work or through work in some capacity. They could be a gym rat. I'm not surprised. This is someone who takes good care of themselves. Okay, so whether it's going to the gym, doing yoga or Pilates, walking, hiking, doing, their own home workouts, and we see lurking energy. So this person may be somebody who's around you again, but I do think this is somebody who, although they're very discerning, I don't think that they're gonna lurk for very long, right? Like this is somebody that like when they're sure, they're gonna come forward. So it's not, but it might be somebody you kind of keep seeing around. You keep catching glances with this person. All right, let's see what else my Capricorns need to know about this person. Very even-keeled is what I'm getting. Okay, we get double confirmation of the Lovers card. Ooh, so a really strong soulmate, twin flame type connection, but it's also going to be a very sexy and passionate connection. We see journey. This person has come a long way to be where they are, to be, to have this sense of stability and balance. Because we see that they've been doing that healing work and they've really decided to put the past in the past. This person may have to travel to see you or vice versa. It can also be somebody here who's also recently moved or recently, changed jobs or come to your job or something like that. And we do see that this is somebody who's hardworking and very independent here, Capricorn. All right, so let's see what else my Capricorns need to know about this person. What else do my Capricorns need to know about this person? All right, so they may have 3 siblings or come from a larger family. They may go by a nickname. They may have a tendency to be forgetful or late at times, and this person may dye their hair, or maybe they used to dye their hair. All right, they're viewing you though as the 8 of Swords, so you may be involved in some sort of karmic situation when you meet this person. That doesn't have to be another relationship, although it certainly can be, but it can be a job that you don't like. It can be a living situation. It can be a family situation. It might just be like you feel like you've been going round and round, like with dating and relationships. They may see you as a little bit of an overthinker here, Capricorn. We see the Lovers in reverse. They might be worried about third party. And some of my Capricorns, you might meet this person when you're still dealing with somebody else or you're healing from a karmic situation. Okay, they might feel like, Capricorn, they might come into your life at a point in time when you have like a lot of emotional tabs that are open. So what I mean by that is like you might have like a lot of like unfinished business, whether it's, you're doing a move or you're changing jobs, or you're not sure about this person that you were kind of dating, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, sometimes people come into our lives when we're not the most grounded and stable. Not to say that you're not grounded and stable, but it does feel like you've got like some emotional tabs open here. And we see the 3 of Cups. Yeah, and most likely it has to do with some sort of third party. But remember, third parties don't always have to be romantic partners, or, it doesn't have to be romance. It can be work, it can be family, it can be life stuff. But the 3 of Pentacles tells me this person is always really happy to see you. They feel like you light up a room when you walk in. Yeah, but some of my Capricorns, you meet this person and you're not particularly, you're not single, you're not fully single, or maybe you don't know where you stand with somebody else. The 9 of Pentacles in reverse can also be you're working towards financial stability. So maybe you've had like, gotten hit with like a lot of debt or a lot of, bills and things like that. So again, like it feels like they come into your life like in a kind of a less than ideal time, but at the same time, it's like in perfect timing, right? Spirit has a funny way of sending us soulmates, exactly when we need them. And I feel like that's the case here. All right, let's see. What do they notice about you, Capricorn, or what do they really like about you? Shapeshifter. Oh, they love that you can, you're skilled at navigating through different levels of consciousness. So you can talk about anything, religion, politics, football, and you have an ability to see the potential in everything. So you see potential in this relationship. You see potential in like, in your friends or in other situations, maybe business ideas or opportunities. You might be somebody that can see, like, for example, a home and it doesn't look, like perfect, but you're like, oh, I can fix it here. I can do this. So they see you as somebody very capable. I love the shapeshifter archetype personally because it tells me too, Capricorn, that they feel like you can kind of hang out with anybody. you know, that you're somebody that they could take to meet their parents, but you're also somebody that they could, you know, take to hang out with some of their friends from college or high school, or their, you know, more professional friends, or their more creative friends, you know, and that you're not, that you're, you know, you're not prejudiced, you're not, you know, you're not, I want to say like hoity-toity, I guess, but like you know, you have good business acumen, you know, you have social graces, you know how to handle yourself in any type of situation, and you can talk about just about anything, which is important. We see pioneer, so they see you. This to me is also very Aquarian energy, so I might be connecting with some of my Capricorn Aquarius cusps, or maybe you have Aquarius in your chart. But they see you as having a passion for doing and creating what hasn't been done before. So they see you as a groundbreaker, a trailblazer, and they love that about you. Again, they're an entrepreneur, or they have this entrepreneurial energy, which I think you have as well. All right, so with the Fool card, Aries energy, I feel like this is something brand new. I think it's going to be really fun, really exciting, really adventurous. I think it's going to be different than whom you normally date or what you've experienced. Also, this person values reliability and follow through, and I feel like that embodies Capricorn energy. So, you know, they're consistent and steady, and I think you're going to really love that. And this connection feels familiar on an energetic level, awakening a sense of recognition beyond logic. So that's past life soulmate energy, or there's a sense of familiarity about this person, even if you don't know them. Like, ooh, I feel like we've known each other for ages. All right. And this meeting happens because you listen to a quiet inner prompting. Alignment responds to intuition rather than logic, which is really interesting because, again, you might just be called to go somewhere or do something differently, and boom, in comes this person, Capricorn. All right, so just trust your intuition. All right, what else do my Capricorns need to know about this person or this connection? What else do my Capricorns need to know here? All right, so you're manifesting this, whether you realize it or not, and Spirit's saying very soon your true love will arrive. Don't judge a book by its cover. Again, this person might come off as very, I don't want to say like stoic or anything like that, but they might come off as kind of serious, but they are very passionate and intense. Yeah, and this is also going to be an extremely sexy connection with burning desire. The flames of passion ignite. Some of my Capricorns, you may end up marrying this person, or you may end up in a higher level of commitment here. Beautiful. All right, and anything else my Capricorns need to know? Anything else my Capricorns need to know? All right, so it may happen very quickly or quicker than you're expecting, and it may be as early as next month. Now, I am doing this reading in the month of July, so it would be July, August that you may be meeting this person or getting to know this person or coming together with this person. All right, my lovely Capricorns, love and light, take care.